Hello and welcome to Rathods Science Academy. Today in this session we are going to see current affairs of 30th September 2025. And as you all know guys, we gave holidays as part of this Dasra vacation to our institute. So because of this, I have to record this analysis by using this laptop. So I hope you guys will understand my problems. And even I don't want to discontinue this because if you are not following the current affairs for 2 to 3 days, then you will be forgetting everything that I know. So because of this, I want to continue this analysis, guys. I hope you guys support me. So if you see the first article, the article says that industrial output growth slows to 4% in August. So this article is talking about industrial output. So as you all know that we have three important sectors. So what are they? First one is primary sector, second one is secondary sector, and third one is tertiary sector. And the secondary sector is also called as manufacturing or industrial. Okay, so this article is talking about growth in the secondary sector. Okay, so if you see your syllabus of UPSC in your economy, that is GS paper 3, you will be seeing about this topic, guys. And especially industries and industry related problems, growth, everything is a very important area where UPSC will ask mains based question. So you have to prepare from this mains point of view regarding this industries, industrial output. So actually this title is saying that the growth had been declined to 4% in month of August. That means if you compare with this July and June month, so industries performed well, but in month of August it had been slowed down. So first of all, you have to see about what are the reasons regarding this slowdown of this industries. And apart from that, you have to see what are the government measures. And next you have to see what is a way forward, what can be done further. Because if there is no proper growth in this industrial sector, it will be having impact on our economy, on our GDP, and as well as increasing of unemployment rate, increasing of poverty, whatnot. So here, this sector is very, very important for our overall progress. And India is having a target of 5 trillion economy by this 2030, and as well as by 2047 we have to achieve the status of developed countries category. So to achieve all these targets, and if we want to achieve our goals of our present government, we have to focus on this industrial development for sure. So now let us see the context. India's industrial production, as measured by the Index of Industrial Production, expanded by 4% in month of August. Actually, when we are comparing with this July month it recorded around 4.3%, but now in this August month it is 4%. That means compared to last 1 month, there is decreased growth in these industries. And why did this slowdown occur? The important reason here is manufacturing led drag. So there is decreased in manufacturing, especially half of this growth had been fall down. And next one here is there is minus 6.3 percentage in contraction in this consumer non-durables like food, textiles. There is very high contraction. And next one here is there is also drop in durables like appliances, autos, electronics also by 3.5 percentage. So because of all these reasons, this industrial sector is not working good. And apart from this, government came up with this GST reforms, that is new generation GST 2.0. So actually there was decreasing of slabs and as well as slashing of slabs and transferring of goods into the lower slabs. And actually because of this, what happened, especially automobiles, textiles, packaged foods, life and as well as health insurance, restaurant services. So they framed as GST savings festival. But what happened? Indirectly that also led to the decreasing of consumption, because actually there is a lot of uncertainty regarding the filing everything. So because of this, yes, and initially we have some certain glitches regarding this GST. And next one is now we have festival season like Dasra is there, and next is Diwali, and next one is Christmas, and as well as New Year. So in spite of this uh, festive season, so there is a very weak consumer demand we can see. So because of this, durables and non-durables they hit hardest now. And even because of this monsoon rains also, which mainly disrupted supply chains in agriculture linked industries. So because of this reason also, yes, industries are not doing well. And next one is there are also global headwinds as well as trade pressures. So there is slowing down of world economy because of this US tariff. The US imposed tariffs not only on India, around 56 countries they had been affected by these tariffs. So because of this, there is lot of impact. And next one is India's export also growth had been muted. And next one here is US tariffs on Russian oil imports, and US is imposing around 50% of tariff on India. And because of all these things, yes, it led to lots of uncertainties in our especially trade, and it is having lots of impact on our economy. So one such an impact that we can see is there is slowdown of industrial growth. And what is this IIP? IIP is nothing but Index of Industrial Production. It is an indicator that measures the changes in the volume of production of industrial goods, like within a given period of time. So whether it had been increased or decreased, all these things that will do. And who will release this? It is released by NSO, that is nothing but National Statistical Office, and which comes under MOSPI. That is nothing but Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. And it is a composite indicator. Actually, it measures the growth rate of industries. Like it includes broad sectors like mining, manufacturing, electricity, and even basic goods, capital goods, and intermediate goods. And actually, we'll calculate this based on the base year, that is 2011 to 2012. And if you say which are those 8 core sectors, so actually these 8 core sectors includes 40.27 of weight of items included in this index of industrial production. And actually if you see those 8 core sectors, that is F, E, R, N, S, 3 C's. F is for fertilizer, E is for electricity, R is for refineries, N for natural gas, S for steel, 1 C for cement, 1 C for crude oil, 1 C for coal. So these 8 includes 40.27 percentage of weights of items which included in this IIP. So if you see these 8 core sectors in the decreasing order of their weightage, first comes here is refineries, next one is electricity, next one is steel, coal, crude oil, natural gas, cement and fertilizers. So if you see some facts here, so here you can see one image. Actually, Nepal is you're celebrating this Mahasaptami, guys. And if you're getting this kind of images in the news, that will be very, very important from your UPSC point of view, guys. So if you see this article, it is talking about Durga Puja. It is also known as Durgotsava or Shardotsav. Actually, it is an annual festival of Hinduism that reverts and pays homage to goddesses Durga. Actually, this festival is observed in the form of Shasti, and as well as it also called as Mahasaptami, Mahaastami, Mahanavami and Vijayadashmi. And this festival which mainly marks the goddess Durga's victory over Mahishasura. And if you see about the historical evolution of this Durga Puja celebrations, so actually the historical origin is unclear, but actually in 14th century manuscripts there is something written about this Durga Puja, and 11th to 12th centuries, especially in one Jain text called as Isatilka by Somadeva, which mentions about the celebrations of this annual festival and this dedicated to this warrior goddess by the king and his armed forces. Actually, this description of this festival, it is very much similar to that of Durga Puja that we are celebrating in today's times. And especially since this 16th century onwards, there was evidence of wealthy families, they are sponsoring this major Durga Puja festivals in the regions of present-day West Bengal. And actually, this Durga Puja is mainly dominated, especially during this British Raj period, especially in this province of Bengal, Odisha, and as well as Assam. So in this way, you have to know about the history, when it was written, who was the author, and what is the meaning of that thing. And now let us see the next article. Title says US tariffs will have long-term effect on trade, says Commerce Ministry to PAC. So actually this article is very important, and the keywords is first one is US tariffs on Indian goods, and second one is they said about this PAC, that is Parliamentary Standing Committees. So here in your Lakshmikant in polity subject, you will be studying about parliamentary committees. So in these parliamentary committees, we have standing committees and we have ad hoc committees. Standing committees are nothing but they are permanent committees, and ad hoc committees are nothing but if there is any need, we'll form that committee and we'll go and we'll see that functions, and after that we'll be getting dismantled automatically. So here this article is saying that here our Indian Commerce Ministry in this permanent standing committee on this commerce, they said that yes, we are going to have long term effects because of this US 50% of tariffs on Indian goods. So this article is very, very important. So here you have to see about what is the reason why this US is imposing 50% of tariff on Indian goods, and next you have to see what is short term and as well as long term impacts. So India's Commerce Ministry briefed this Parliamentary Standing Committee on Commerce that yes, we are going to have long-term repercussions, long-term impacts of recently imposed US 50% tariff on bilateral trade. So this tariff is around 50% on most of our Indian goods. Okay, so actually US is imposed 25% because of we are having trade surplus. India is having trade surplus with US, and US wants to focus on trade balance. And not only this, US is focusing on protectionism policy. That means it wants to safeguard its own domestic companies and domestic workers. So because of this, US is imposing tariffs on 56 countries with which it is having trade imbalance. And again, 25% is punitive levy. Punitive levy is nothing but India is importing Russian oil at a discounted price. So because of this, India is giving money, or India is giving in return the amount which is required, which for which we are getting this oil. So because of this, US is alleging that India is fueling this Russia-Ukraine crisis. So US wants to end this Russia-Ukraine war. So because of this, any country which is importing oil and as well as energy from this Russia, they are imposing tariff. So apart from as part of that, here US is imposing 25% of tariff on India. Totally 25 plus 25, it is 50% of tariff they are imposing on Indian goods. Okay, so here if you see what will be the impacts, the first one is if you see the short term impacts in this quarter 3 and quarter 4 of 2025, so there will be export loss. We are going to export less, especially textiles and as well as shrimps, that is nothing but seafood, apparels and leather industry, gold and gem industry will be getting affected. Especially marine sector could see around 500 million to 1 million tons of annual hit, and will be threatening around 1 to 2 million coastal jobs, especially in this Odisha and Andhra Pradesh. And overall 5 to 7 percentage of dip in US bound exports by the year end. And next one is there is also market volatility. There will be increased demand for dollars. So because of this, there is depreciation of Indian rupee. Indian rupee value will be fallen. So as you all know that it is around 80, more than 88. $1 is equal to more than 88 rupees. It is all time low. So here furthermore market volatility can be seen. And next one here is sectoral strengths, especially pharmaceutical sectors, textiles, gems, gold, shrimp sector will be getting losses. And this one is higher import duties on this US goods like apples and almonds, that also leads to inflation in Indian market. And if you see the long-term impacts, trade diversion, competitiveness erosion, and even the persistent 50% of barriers could shrink India-US trade by 15 to 20%. And actually, here there will be also impact on our GDP in the long term, and even it may also cause a balance of payment crisis. And next one is there will be also impact on our groupings like Quad, Indo-Pacific ties, where US and India they are both partners. Okay, and apart from that, even it may also leads to the increasing of global oil prices that will leads to impact on energy security of our country. So this will be the long-term and as well as short-term impacts of this US tariffs case. And now let us see the next article. Title says SSTC is more than a diplomatic phrase. Actually, this article is important from your GS paper to under international relations. So SSTC is nothing but South-South and triangular cooperation. So you may get directly a 10 or 15 marker question based on this SSTC, guys. You have to focus here. So SSTC is nothing but it is a framework for collaboration among developing countries out there. It's nothing but South-South cooperation, and even there are certain partners who are from these developed countries or international organizations. So in this way, we are having triangular cooperation between these developed, developing, and least developed countries. So for what? We have to address some developmental challenges and we have to share the knowledge and to achieve sustainable development goals. So actually this South-South cooperation refers to exchange of resources, not only resources, even technology, skills and knowledge among the developing countries to improve development. And we'll be focusing on improving of mutual benefits, non-interference and demand-driven partnerships, etc. And actually, if you want to say like example, so India can share the best agriculture practices and expertise with African countries. And not only that, if you see what is this triangular cooperation, so this SSC by involving the third partner, which is nothing but developed countries will be also included here, especially even we have multilateral organizations like United Nations, World Banks, or any regional bodies. They will provide funding, technical support, or coordination. For example, Japan can also fund this India Kenya agriculture product like that. Okay, project. And if you see what are the key features, the first one is horizontal partnerships. Like unlike this traditional aid, so it will also focus on equality, reciprocity, etc. And will be focusing on trade, technology transfer, capacity building, health, agriculture, education, climate resilience. And even it will be focusing on global framework. So actually, this partnership is guided by the principles of Buenos Aires Plan of Action of 1978, and even it will be very much helpful for achieving of sustainable development goals of United Nations by 2030. And this one is they're also focusing on institutional support, like we have certain platforms like United Nations Office, and we have India's Development Partnership Administration, and also we have certain regional bodies like ASEAN, African Union, etc., so that we will be having cooperation with these organizations as well. And what are the advantages? First one is it is cost effective and will also provide relevant solutions for the current challenges. Especially developing countries, they share technologies and as well as practices, finances, etc. So that here India can have, not only India, even other less developed countries and developing countries, they can have access to this technology. Especially it is very helpful for African Union, and even India came up with this telemedicine project. Okay, and next one here is there will be also enhancement of trade and as well as economic integration. So this SSC can boost intra-south trade and even it can reduce the volatility in the northern markets. And next important point that you have to remember is it can also improve the capacity building and knowledge sharing. So this SSTC, which mainly prioritizes technical training, skill transfer, and not only that, even empowering the local institutions and workforces. It mainly shares the zero tillage farming techniques, and as well as it will be boosting the human capital, and even it also trained number of professionals, etc. And this one is it can also helpful in the strengthening of geopolitical solidarity. So among this global South nations, it will be amplifying their voice in the forums like United Nations, G77, WTO, WHO, etc. It will also enhances its bargaining power between the countries, and even it will be very helpful for improving of climate to fight against climate change and as well as to achieve the sustainable development goals. So actually this SSTC prioritizes climate resilient and sustainable solutions, which will be very critical for these vulnerable nations, especially India's ISA, that is International Solar Alliance, which mainly promotes solar energy access, and even it mainly cuts the CO2 emissions by 1 billion tons annually by 2030. And apart from this, we can also improve our cultural ties and social cohesion between the people. It will strengthen the soft power along with this technical aid, guys. It is very, very important. But even though we are having certain challenges regarding this SSTC, first one is limited funding compared to that of OECD aid. For example, it is just $20 billion in 2024. But if you see on OECD, it is $150 billion. Okay. And apart from that, there is lack of standardized frameworks that will lead to the inefficiencies, and even there is no proper coordination. Regarding this, we have certain gaps in this coordination. And next one is there is increasing of tension, India-China rivalry, India-Pakistan rivalry, and as well as Russia-US rivalry. So because of this, Here, if you are completely depending on these northern partners, that will also risk, that will also have certain risks regarding the conditionalities, terms and conditions apply. And achievement here is, unlike OECD 8, SSC also lacks transparent reporting. So because of this, there is no proper impact assessment. So these are the certain challenges regarding this SSTC, and we have to work on it to overcome it, so that we can make this SST very helpful to fight against climate change and to achieve the sustainable development goals. Okay, so these are the important topics that appeared in our today's Hindu newspaper, guys. By this, I'm concluding. Thank you so much for watching, and please do support me as usually. And we are going to continue that earlier Hindu analysis from the Monday, guys. So until then, this method will go on. So I hope you understand my problems, everything. And thank you so much, guys. And do subscribe to Rathods Science Academy. Don't forget.